So in this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how I made these wings, and if you'd like to see how I got the makeups, both the tutorials are already on my channel. I'll leave the links up above, and if you'd like to know how to make these wings, then just keep watching. For this tutorial, you're going to be needing a few supplies. So I've got a few different shapes and sizes of the feathers. I ordered these off AliExpress, and one of them has like an iridescent green shade to them. You're going to need some measuring tape, and also I'm using like 2 pieces of cardboard pizza boxes. You're going to need some tape, some elastic, as well as some pliable garden wire. If you can find like electrical cable wire, which is a little bit it'll stay more rigid, that would be preferred, but this is all I could find. And what you want to do is measure from shoulder to shoulder. This is where you're going to be placing the 2 pieces of tape, and then I'm just using the entire measuring tape because my wingspan is actually pretty long. I'm 6 feet tall, so you can kind of do this according to your height. And then I'm just going to be cutting that off using some pliers. Once you've cut it to size, what you're going to do next is you're going to fold that in half and create a V shape. This is going to be like the base of the frame, and then you're going to bend either side. So you can bend, I think I bent it like halfway. Right here is like a quarter of the way, but later on I did make it a bit higher. This is going to fit in like the small of your back, so take that into account when you are doing this on yourselves, and you can also have a friend help you out if needed. And what I'm doing next is I'm taking a smaller piece of garden wire. This is going to help to make this wire frame a little bit thicker because it was like super flimsy, and like I said from the beginning, if you have like, or if you can find electrical or like cable wire, it's a little bit more pliable / will stay in place a lot better than this. You can totally skip this step, but because this is all I had available, I'm making do with what I got. So yeah, I'm just applying this to make the frame a little bit more sturdy.
Holy shit, is that boy bomb?
And I'm just bending the edges of the wings a little bit more so it gives it like kind of more of a frame. Not totally necessary. So this is my mom. She's a wonderful, amazing human being, and I love her so much. And if anybody says anything mean, I will cut your motherfucking ass. But anyways, you want to have somebody help you out with this, and I'm just getting my mom to help me pin the elastic in place, so fitting it to your body, making sure it's nice and snug, and then just pinning it, and you can hot glue this later on. And yeah, repeat the same steps on the other side. On to the next step. What I'm doing here is I'm cutting out a half oval shape, and this is going to lie as the framework for where all the feathers are going to be glued down. I'm just using a thin piece of like cardboard. You could alternatively use like a thin piece of cutting board if you can find it at like your local dollar store. I wouldn't recommend using like foam or anything like that because it's a bit stiffer, and this still gives it a little bit of movement. So yeah, I'm just cutting out one shape, and then I'm going to do the exact same for the other. And this is my kitty Jazz. Well, one of my kitties. She's fluffy and a fat butt, and she's so cute. And something else I did want to mention as well is that I did go and I hot glued the entire green framework that I've got going on. I didn't capture that on film, but now what I'm doing here is I'm just hot gluing that to the cardboard piece. This is what it's going to look like when you're finished, and I still have the elastic bits pinned together, but this is one side of the wing done. It's gonna look like this, and yeah, I'm gonna be hot gluing those two pieces together. I hot glued the bottoms already. And then these are the packs of feathers that I have, and I used 2 of each style of feather. I think there was 1 feather that only came in 1 pack, but I used 2 for each side. I got a lot of these, like I said, off AliExpress. There's 1 pair that I did get from Walmart, so you can try and find them at like Michael's, or you can order them online. They were pretty cheap. And I'm just going to be gluing down all of these sized feathers here, just as the framework for all the other feathers. And yeah, I pinned them from the beginning of the wing, so like closest to where it's going to be to your body, and then going outwards. You can kind of do it in this fashion or whatever fashion you feel like, but this is how I did it. And notice that I'm just applying a little bit of that hot glue to the spine of each of the feathers, and the ones that are hanging off I really only just applied it to the base. So this is what it should look like as your first layer of feathers, and then I'm going to be applying the like more iridescent green ones, the fluffier ones, all around the entire piece, trying to focus this more on the outer portion so it gives it that movement and it looks a little bit more fabulous. And yeah, you're going to apply this and then some other ones that have a bit more fluff to them. I am trying to apply most of those feathers over top of the spines of the first layer we've got down. This is going to help solidify it and make it look more full, make the wings look more full. I will admit that the shape that I went for with these particular wings is not my favorite, but this is my first attempt at doing wings, so be easy on me. And I will leave a shout out to the link of the tutorial I followed. I used the Story Girls tutorial and they are amazing. So this is what your wing should look like when you're finished. I did hot glue down the elastic band, and this is the movement that you get with them still. Again, like I said, because this is a thin piece of cardboard, it should give you some movement like this so you can just pop lock it. And for the final touches, I'm just spray painting the elastic to make it match more to my black feathers, because white against black kind of looks a little bit too stark. So yeah, I'm just spray painting those with some black spray paint, and that finishes off my look. I hope that this tutorial was helpful to some of you, and thank you all so much for watching. Again, if you'd like to see the makeups for both of these looks, they will be in the description bar below, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye!